So, it's about time we answered the age-old question. Which is the better gold farm in the Create mod? The red sand method or the soul sand method? It's time to find out. Because if there's one thing that I've been asked constantly, almost every single time I look in the comments of my gold farm video, that is, why aren't you using the soul sand method? Why aren't you doing this method instead? And you know what? I actually don't know the difference between the two farms, so I really want to work it out and see if one is actually better than the other. So first of all, I want to just work out the actual production steps we're going to need for each farm. So for the soul sand method, what we first need to do is start with a cobblestone generator, which we make cobblestone with, and then we crush that into gravel. We crush it again into sand. We then take a fan and haunt that sand into soul sand. We take that soul sand, wash it with water, that gives us the gold and some nether quartz, and then we compact the gold down into, ingots? Nuggets? No, ingots, yes, good. The red sand method is a little bit more complicated. We start obviously with a cobblestone generator, followed by the double crushing setup again to get sand, except here's where it changes. So then we wash that sand, that turns into clay. We then compact the clay down into clay blocks, which we then cook into terracotta, which we then crush again, giving us red sand, which we then wash the red sand, and then that gives us the gold, and then we compact it down again. So you can definitely see the red sand method is a much longer production chain, but does it actually make more gold? Let's see. Now, obviously, to make this fair, we will want to use the same amount of cobblestone and the same speed of mining, etc, etc. So we'll start with, we'll say 12 cobblestone generators. I think that seems like a good number. And then of course for the other farm we'll have the same 12 cobblestone generators, aka 12 drills right here. And I now realize that if I actually want to do this properly, I need to raise them up by one so we can run a belt underneath to actually take the cobblestone out. And I gotta say, I think this is definitely one of my favorite methods of making up a cobble generator here. So we waterlog these and then put the lava over the top like this. And for the gravel here, I am just going to use a millstone because it just kind of works pretty well with my cobble gen design here. And while I'm here, I'm actually just going to copy paste this with a schematic over to this side here. Now, after giving this some thought as well, I am just going to absolutely spam down a bunch of crushing wheels here. Because obviously the object here is we want to know how much the farm is producing, so we need to get the resources through as fast as possible. You know, we're not here to measure stress cost or anything like that. We're interested in just raw numbers. So spamming a ton of crushing wheels, use a creative motor, not a problem. So I think now we're kind of beginning to diversify in the two farms. I'm going to work on the soul sand first one here. And then what I'm going to do is put in a vault, which this is where all the items will end up to be washed. Wait, no, it's haunting first, so we'll haunt first. And actually, if I'm smart about this, doing a 3x3 vault here, we might be able to do this relatively compactly. So on this side, if we have our two encased fans pointing in like this, so then here we'll set a filter that allows everything except sand through. So all of our waste products from the crushing, we can then output into the side into just a lava source to get rid of it. And then the soul sand, once it's washed, will output here and then input quartz and gold here. The reason I made this vault 3 tall is because if we put the output funnels here, they would read the items on the ground and only dispense 1 stack. So by placing it a block higher, this is going to allow it to just drop out infinite soul sand to be washed on here. So once the soul sand has been washed, obviously we then want to pull that out, which I think I'm going to do here, onto a belt, which will have a basin here, which is going to have a press in that will compact the nuggets into ingots. And then we just need to send that into storage. So for that, I'm going to do a maximum size 3x3 vault here. And then in order to show how many items are inside the vault, we're going to have a smart observer, a bunch of Nixie tubes here, and we'll just link those with a display link, set it to amount of items, bam. So now that will count up all of the gold that's in there. I think the only thing left for me to do here is hook up all of the power. Which one important thing I'm going to make sure to do here is I'm going to put the main power for this on a clutch, because then we can turn both the farms on simultaneously. And just for the sake of ease, I am going to be using a creative motor. We're just going to max everything out at maximum speed. So for these, just the cog should get them going. We just need a chain drive there. For these, I believe I can just do that. And that's going to get them going the right way. Perfect. I can probably do a downwards facing one of them and that's going to go the right way. Brilliant. Extend these by one and then put a regular gearbox there and pray that they go the right direction. Love that. The fans, I'm just going to use creative modes for it's fine. And then we make sure that they're going opposite ways. They only need to be on one. That one's actually going the wrong way. Oh, okay. It would also help if I actually set up the filters for these. So if we set that to soul sand on the output, and then this to deny soul sand, anything that gets washed will then go back into the vault. Now for the trashing, we want to trash everything that isn't sand or soul sand. I think that's right. So that means any excess products like flint or the clay can... yeah. Good. Does actually also help if I hook up all of this stuff too. Oh, and I've actually made a fatal error on my trashing thing. Of course, we don't want to trash the gold nuggets either. So yeah, make sure that's in there. So this is set to filter out gold nuggets into here. We'll set a recipe filter for gold ingots there, and then an input into the vault there. Perfect. Now, I do just want to make sure this is working, so we will quickly turn it on. And yep, that definitely looks like it's working and making a lot of sand. Good lord. All right, we'll turn that off a sec. So this should be turning into soul sand, going into the vault. Perfect. So now it should be washing, even better. And then if gold, if any, should have gone into there, but I don't think we did. Perfect. So that is our soul sand gold farm ready to go. And actually, no, I tell a lie. We got a single gold ingot. Hell yeah. Alarmingly, the one item in here was a gold nugget, so we're just going to set a filter for gold bars there as well. And I'm just going to lock that as well, actually, for now. So I can take a schematic of this whole crushing part, because we can reuse this. In fact, I think we can reuse quite a bit of this, actually. If I take all of this, I should be able to, like, finagle it into place. Yeah, so if we just line that up, place that in, all we need to do is make a couple of adjustments and it should work just fine. So first of all, the haunters need to be changed to washers. That's going to turn it into clay. We need to obviously take out all of our filters and redo those afterwards. These need to be turned into blasters to make the terracotta, definitely. And I think we might actually be able to do some really funky stuff around the back here. If we say make a loop that goes around, we can put the clay ball squasher on the back here. Now if I put a gearbox here, they go the opposite way. That's not ideal. Easy enough problem to fix. If I shorten that, extend that, shorten that, extend that, they should then... oh no, that one's going the wrong way. Damn it. Wait, no, this is a solvable problem. If I just do depots on the ends like this, extend that out like that, that should work. Little bit of fiddling, but that's definitely going to work there. So then all we need to do is raise that up to there and stick a mechanical press in, and that's that part done. Although I will actually hook this up to the rest of the farm properly, just like that. Perfect. Which actually, when it's hooked up to power, it goes the right way, so perfect. Alright, so quick stock take of what's happening. So we're going to have all the sand come through here, it's going to get washed into clay, it's going to come out here, get squished down into blocks, back into here. It's then going to come out of these down here, smelted into terracotta. So then we need to crush it again, which we can potentially do out of this end here. My only worry is that we're not going to be able to process the red sand fast enough, but I think 3 crushing wheels should do the job. So they're going to come out here, connect to these guys here, come out from this space here. Then we just need to get this back into the vault, which I think if we do a sideways belt coming this way into... What way will that crushing wheel be going? It'll be going this way, so that'll be going the wrong way for my belt here. Maybe we'll pull it out by one, so then we can do a gearbox here, and then that'll get this belt going the right way. Will we send it up to like here maybe? No, that's not going to work. Because I'm thinking what we can do is potentially put a depot here with an input, and that's where our red sand is going to go to. And then we'll just reuse this washer here. I mean, I could do a really cursed step stool like this, to be fair. That would work. And then I can just connect that flat into here. Let's bring some power to this area and see how it's going to shake out. All right, well, that's immediately going the wrong way, so that's not ideal. Quick gearbox should fix that though. That'll get that going the right way. But actually, if we do it like this, then we can fit in a vertical gearbox there, connecting to that, and then that should get that going the right way. Probably? Yeah, perfect. Input belts will be here, and we can hook those up by extended out facing downwards, and then we do another vertical gearbox. You know what? It's horrendously cursed, but we're going to pull from this. We're going to put a gearbox there and do that. That's going to get that going the right way. I never said these farms were going to be pretty, but they'll work. That'll get that going around there. That'll go into there. Perfect, perfect. And I think that's the closed loop, right? I think that's it. Oh, right. We just need to pull the gold out now, I think. And before I forget, we'll have our little trash bit just here, because that fits in pretty nicely there. And of course, we actually need some outputs here for the red sand to be washed again. So before I actually hook up the storage, let's do all the filtering. So this one's going to be red sand. The bottom filter will let in anything that isn't sand or red sand. This will only let out clay. This will have a filter for clay blocks and only let clay blocks out there. These two will also be filtered for clay blocks to be smelted. We're not going to be running anything else through here, so that can have a terracotta filter there and there. And then we also need terracotta filters on these crushing wheels, because this is what's making our red sand. And then we've got the trash filter, which will be red sand, sand, clay, and clay balls are the only things we want to keep in there. And gold nuggets, nearly forgot them again. So this is set to deny mode, so everything but those items will go into the trash, which we just put a lava bucket in there to finish off. Perfect. And I know it's not the cleanest solution in the world, but it looks like we might have potential to put our output right around here and bring it over into another big vault. Some horrendous gearbox action will get that into there. Perfect. And then same thing with the Nixie tubes and the display length. Amount of matching items. Bam, bam, bam. Done. Perfect. So that is 2 fully functioning gold farms. It's about time that we test them against each other. And just before we let them loose, we do need to do a tiny bit of redstone just to make sure they activate at the same time. And by a tiny bit of redstone, I mean literally one redstone line connected to a lever like this. So it's time for the leap of faith. Let's see how they do. And just before I actually go AFK and start any sort of timer, I'm just going to make sure that they're all functioning. Clay's being squashed. Red sand's coming through. Looks like it's being washed. Perfect. I want to see some gold. Oh, I didn't put a filter on. Nor did I do another compactor. Whoops. It's fine. The gold's building up in there. This shouldn't affect the final results. Quickly just slap a belt up there. We'll throw in some filter items. Quickly filter the base in. If I break that, put that there, put that there, then replace this with a normal gearbox, not a vertical one. Okay, there we go. That shouldn't have affected the farm's rates. So, with both farms seemingly fully functioning, this one seems to be going, this one is now working. I am going to go AFK for, let's say, an hour, and then we'll review.
1 hour later.
Okay, so it has been 1 hour, or thereabouts. It was maybe a little bit over, but it's fine. It should do the job. So, let's see. Soul Sand Farm. Nice. Yeah. Nice. And then the most important question, will it be the same or will it be more? It's a lot more. Oh boy. Okay. red sand is winning by a margin. Wow. I thought it was going to be pretty close, but no, this is a clear-cut winner so far. So yeah, I'm going to let this run probably overnight, and we'll check it out in the morning, do a bit of a longer test as well. You never know, it is entirely up to chance, so maybe the gold from this side will catch up. Maybe this one will just steam ahead. We'll have to wait and see. Now, before we get into the final numbers, we're going to play a little game of how many days has it been since Skeej recorded the previous clip. If you answered 5 days, oh boy, you'd be entirely right. Yeah, I got sick like halfway through recording this, so love life. But anyway, there's a clear winner. The red sand method with 847 compared to the 601 of the soul sand farm. I ran these for about 8 hours overnight, and then the other previous hours, so it's had about 9 hours of testing time. And I did the math for this as well, and it actually lines up pretty well. I'm sure my editor here is going to throw up the terrible math I did on the screen. So I started out working out the soul sand method, which worked around to about 20 gold nuggets per 1,000 cobblestone. And then the red sand, which with all of the byproducts and everything accounted for, worked out to about 28.125 per 1,000. Using those, I then calculated how much per hour, because in Minecraft a lava will move or tick every 1.5 seconds, so I knew that the lava would flow 2,400 times an hour, times that by 12 for the number of cobblestone generators, and then using the amounts we worked out earlier per 1,000, we times that number by 28.8, and that gives us our final numbers. Obviously having to divide that by 9 to make the amount for ingots, and it actually worked out pretty close to what my math worked out to. I kind of estimated about 800 for the red sand and about 600-ish for the soul sand, so I was pretty close in my math actually. I definitely didn't get it wrong those times before I worked it out, but yeah. So there you have it, definitive mathematical and practical proof that the red sand method is better. Stop commenting on my gold farm that the soul sand method is better. I will respond with a link to this video from all future comments.